Welcome everybody to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. What are we reviewing today? Insert sexy robot voice. We got Robocop Rogue City. Robocop Rogue City is an first-person shooter developed by Teon and published by Nacon. If I butchered those names, I do apologize. The game features an original storyline based on the Robocop movies, with Peter Weller reprising his role as a title character. It's released on PlayStation 5, Windows, Series X, S, and it released on November 2nd. It's an Unreal Engine 5 game. It is a movie license game, so those are pretty hit and miss. So let's find out what this one hit and what it missed. It is a first-person shooter. Now, it does have detective-like areas. It does have a pseudo-open world areas, and it is literally a walking tank named Robocop. So let's start with Nick because, he's old as crap, and he was there with me when the original came out. Well, not with me, but he was with me in spirit. Nick, what'd you think about Robocop?
Well, I was alive when the original one came out. So
you watched it through your daddy's sack.
I was a baby. I mean, I was like, 2 years old, I think, when it came out. So, but I remember watching Robocop as a kid. All the Robocop 1 and 2. And I really liked it. I enjoyed the movies as a kid. And this game's kind of like a love letter to those who know Robocop and watch the movies and would like to see Robocop kind of come back as some sort of, game or a new movie. I'm surprised they haven't made a new Robocop movie, unless they have and I just missed it. But the game, it's an okay game. It's not a great game. It's not a horrible game either. It's just okay. I think the gunplay is really fun. It's, the game starts out, you go through this high-rise tower, you're shooting bad guys. They got the nice 80s action music going, and you're just blasting dudes in the lobby, and as Robocop in it, and it's, that part's exciting and everything. The parts that are not exciting is after that. When you leave there, you go back to the police station, which that part's fine. There's some side quests that you do and stuff like that. They're not that difficult. They don't take that long to complete. That allow you to level up because there's this kind of RPG stuff here where you can level through different various actions. You get experience points, which then level up Robocop, which allow you that give you skill points that you can put into your different skill specs that Robocop has, such as combat armor, dialogue, and various other things that you can do, which then as you put points into these, they upgrade certain things like your combat effectiveness and dialogue options and stuff like that. But at certain points in those in the spec tree, you also get special moves such as like a dash or being able to recharge your health through electrical boxes and things of that nature, right? As the more points you put in these, or to be able to open up safes, right? There's some safes that require engineering levels that you have to skill up to be able to open those. What I find odd about the skill point part is, and I don't know if you would be able to do so, because I did all the, so starting out, I did really good at the first quest. There's evidence that you can pick up that give you skill points, such as lost wallets, stolen purses, drugs, things like that. You pick up and it gives you, as evidence that give you experience points. And then at the end of every mission, you get rated, right? And the first mission, I got an A, which I think is the top rating. I'm not sure if there's one higher than that, but I pretty much did everything and found everything as far as I know. So I got an A rating and got a lot of experience points. And then through the city, before I did the main mission in the city, that's the next place you go to after the police station. I did everything in the police station, went to the city, did all the side quests before doing the main quest. And when doing the main quest, I ran into a lot of safes that were engineering level 6. And it's like, unless you dumped every single point in there, it seems odd that it would be an engineering level 6 box, because you're not going to go back there. And you're just going to miss out on those safes, right? But you can find hidden stuff throughout the levels. There's a lot, like I said, the evidence. There's also like hidden switches. You go into Robocop view, which is like a scanning view where you can scan things and find hidden switches and evidence and things to help you with your detective work and stuff like that. My problem with the game is that part, not necessarily the scanning part, just the side quests and when you get to the open world city or semi-open world city, that part there, and there's side quests strung about. Now, you don't have to do those. You could just go straight to the main quest and follow that. But, like myself, and if Pat was here to review this, he'd be the same way. And, Shane's probably close to the same way. We want to get all these side quests completed so we can get the extra XP so we can level up Robocop. Well, those parts are boring, very boring, and they're not fun. Like, I wish this game was paced. I understand they want to do that, but I wish it was paced by just story missions, right? Just missions where you go in, you're blasting dudes and everything like that, and not this like mixture of doing that and then this kind of downtime where you go do side quests and talk to people. And because some of the side quests are like finding someone's missing purse or helping a kid who's down on his luck. It almost reminds me of like, this game is Robocop, the series on TGIF night, right? If it was a show around that time and it came on in like the evening time when the more like the less funny shows came on and the more kind of serious shows came on. But, it's all about, because there's an example, like there's one mission where this ex-drug dealer, you find him and you take him to a kid and he's talking to the kid about, not growing up to be a drug dealer and to be a good kid and to stay off the streets and say no to drugs and all this stuff. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this reminds me of the TV shows back in the day, right? When we were young, that Full House and all those that always had some sort of inspirational message within the episode, right? And that's exactly what this reminded me of. I was just like, the more this is waiting for the rainbow thing to come across the screen, or Smokey the Bear to come out, or the drug dog McGruff to tell me to take a bite out of crime. Like, I just felt like I went back there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a kid again. This is, you think that would be good, but in this case it wasn't, because it was just, you realize how cheesy that stuff is nowadays. But so it just comes off as being cheesy and stupid. I just wish it was more of like every mission was just you going in and shooting up the bad guys, and it just progressed the story, because the story does seem interesting, right? I mean, it's your typical 80s movie story going on here, but that's cool. I'm down with that. It's just the downtime in between that really just kind of drags the game down for me, I think. And I think if that wasn't there, it would be much better. Not saying this is a bad game though. I think it's a good game as far as like the combat goes. I think the combat's a lot of fun, and going through the stories, through the levels that actually have the story missions are not bad. They're fun to shoot guys and stuff like that. It's just the in-between parts that really kind of slow it down and become boring, where you're like, I just want to get to the next thing, which you could do, right? You could just say, screw all the side stuff. I'm going straight there. Who cares how I rate at the end? But the higher you rate, the more experience you get, which means the more skill points you're going to have to unlock into Robocop. So I guess it just depends on how you want to play it. But if you were just hit all the story beats, I think you might have a better time with this game than doing the side stuff. But Shane, what do you think of Robocop?
I was so happy to hear Peter Weller's voice. That was my favorite part. I mean, I knew he was going to do it, but I try to avoid a lot of trailers and things like that for pretty much any game anymore. But I was so happy to hear Peter Weller's voice. he is Robocop. They did make a remake of the movie. It had Sam Jackson and a guy. Don't know the guy. It was just a guy. He was Robocop, but he is not Alex Murphy. Not Alex Murphy. It just didn't work for me. Now, back to the game. I agree with you on every aspect. The main beat of the game of combat is fun. The perk tree is it could be useful, but it's done just in the wrongest way. I believe you can do a new game plus, and that's how that whole level 6 crap works out, which is an asinine move. That is to fill time. That's all that's for. And I understand a new game plus and all that, but you can't put those things right in front of somebody 2 minutes into a brand new game, never been played before, and they're like, "Hey, level 6, all right." It just, to me, it doesn't work, and that sucked. The open world part, they could have got completely rid of. Wouldn't have had a problem with it. The game is not worth the $69.99 or whatever it was for it. Nice.
It's $50.
It's $50. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Painful amount of dollars. It's a $25 game. I would feel very comfortable with $25 on it. The combat is the best part. I made a comment on a couple of videos ago about one of my favorite scenes in the original movie. And I said, that better be a damn achievement in here. And Nick's like, it's an achievement. So, and that's the first thing I did. It didn't work, but apparently I didn't give them time to feel the pain before I finished them off. So the first thing I did when I fired it back up was, and I gave him a second to go, ooh, poop. Achievement. So I know I gave away a little too much there, but I didn't say exactly what. Could have been a kneecap. But the game is okay. It's just not great. It's not bad. It's okay. It is. If you see it at Walmart in the bargain bin for $20-$25, grab it. Well worth it. Especially if you're in my generation of age group, you know the series, you know the movie and all that. One thing I would heavily criticize is I don't think they went dark enough with the story, because I think they did a pretty good job with the side characters. A bunch of nuke heads, a bunch of drug addicts. I think they did a good job with that, but I think the storyline of 1 and even 2 were a lot grittier and darker, and that's what made them so good. I mean, it was sci-fi with that dirty, crime-ridden cop movie kind of thing, and it worked out perfectly. Some of the character models, though, I have to say, are weird as crap. Some of the enemies just look god awful, and then there's some of them that look really cool. There are a lot of faces. If you remember the movie, you will recognize them in the game. Your partner Lewis, she's in there. Sounds terrible voice actress. I wish they would have got the original. Even if she's a million, she would have still done a better job. The sheriff, the chief in the police department, his face is there. I don't think that's the same voice, but I don't remember. But he's not a bad voice actor. Peter Weller carries the game just like he carried the movie. He's fantastic in it. So the game itself, excluding the open world and excluding their replay on it, it's a good game. Not great, not bad, but it's a good game, and it's a fun game. When you grab somebody, chuck them out a window, when you shoot them in your favorite places, some of the dialogue is absolutely hilarious. You go to one place, it's like a club, and it's freaking hilarious. I loved it. There just needs to be a little more to the game that's right, and a lot less of the game that's wrong. But still worth a $25 game, not a full price game, not a $60 game, period. But that is my opinion. I'm kind of surprised they didn't make some sort of online thing because the game's not very long, and I understand why they put the new game, for new game plus junk in there. But I'm really surprised there's not some sort of a multiplayer facet to it. One of you plays RoboCop, the other one plays the T or God, the legged sentinel robot thing, or one of you plays the ninja from number 3, which was not a great movie, but the ninja guy was kind of cool though. I'm surprised they didn't do something like that. Everybody runs around as Lewis and crying because Peter Weller is shot. That'd be fun. But I think the game was a very nice homage and a love story to the movies. The first two, not the third one. Third one didn't have Peter Weller. So, but what do you think, Nick? Would you request a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, if they got rid of like the side quest stuff, I mean, it's an 8-hour game for just main story. About 13 and a half hours for main story and side quests. So
fun and crackheads and little boys.
Yeah, I would say if they got rid of the side quest stuff and just kind of streamlined just the main story beats, just made it like a linear story beat, action game, I think it would have been better. I don't know, that in my opinion. I just don't like the side stuff. Like I like the main action story beats, right? Those are that's when I'm having fun. I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. And when it gets to the side stuff, I'm like, this is boring. I don't want to do this. Because it is all like, Friday night. I mean, this is no like rated PG game, but yeah, I mean, it's not. It's $50. I don't think it's quite worth the $50, but I would say $25-$30. Get this game on sale if you're interested in it, and I think you'll have a good time with it. I just don't think it's worth the $50, but at least it's not 70 or 60 or $70. It is a cheaper game to start out with, so I would just wait for it to go on sale. But yeah, it's cool. As far as that goes, I like the whole. I'm glad I'm glad they remade or made a new RoboCop game. I would like to see other game. I think this is the same studio that did the Terminator Resistance game. I think I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the same people. Which I never played. I know they redid that game, or they didn't redo it, but they did like a remastered version of it, right? Which was just the next gen version. But supposedly they fixed a lot of stuff in that particular one. Yeah, so I'm looking them up now. Yeah, they did do Terminator Resistance. They also did a Rambo game, apparently. I don't remember a Rambo game.
It was not good.
Yeah.
Good try. But
good try. But I mean, that seems to be their MO is good try, just not good. But I think Terminator Resistance was, I think that one got okay reviews after the remastered version or the restructured or whatever they called it. And then this one's getting, okay reviews. So I think it's an okay game. Yeah. I mean, for a licensed game, right? Like you said at the beginning, you never know with licensed games, how they're going to turn out. They're usually hit or miss, and usually it's a miss, right? And I don't think this one's quite a miss. I just don't think it's a great game, but for a licensed game, it's not bad, right? And yeah, I did look up the new Terminator movie, and I do remember that. I never did watch it, but I do remember them making that. So that must have been how good it did, because I don't I couldn't even remember that they made it.
It's really not bad. It really isn't, but when you grow up with the best, it's you're not even getting a Dollar Tree version of RoboCop. It's more like the always save, that stuff that's crushed at the very bottom in Aldi's of every product.
It's the best choice.
It's the mediocre choice.
But yeah, I mean, this game is, I don't know, take it as you will, right? I mean, if you're a huge fan of RoboCop, you might really enjoy this game. If you remember the movies from the from the 80s, not the new movies, not the new movie, I should say, but the movies from the 80s, because this is what it's based off of. Then I think you'll have nostalgic feelings for it. Like, kind of like me and Shane do. Like when I came in there at the beginning of the game as Robocop and was blasting people, I was excited. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, the you don't get a technical zoom like when you typically hold a left trigger on a first person shooter. You get this targeting system thing that comes up, and it's just such a nice touch on that. I mean, the developers had a lot of really good ideas, and I think they have the right path for this game. So they just need to think about the sequel a little bit better if they make a sequel, obviously, because the game has had a lot of hype. So, but hopefully the sequel will come and it'll be awesome. So, you got anything else, bud?
Nope.
All right. Well, before I do the whole ending thing, make sure you watch Peter Weller's The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. That is the most madcap crap you ever watched, and I love every single second of it. It's like Howard the Duck on meth, but it's got Jeff Goldblum in a cowboy hat. That's enough said. I love that movie. But thank you for listening. Thank you for getting all the way to the end. Make sure you hit those notifications, hit that subscribe button, and tell us what you think. Are you a Robocop fan? Did you like the originals? Did you like the new one? Do you love the game? Do you hate the game? Do you think we're right? Do you think we're wrong? Let us know. But until next time, see ya.